to a new session at Graduate Guru. We are doing the valuation of shares and goodwill. Goodwill हमने already complete कर दिया है. We are on valuation of shares where we have already done two methods. One is intrinsic value and one is yield method based on dividends. Now this session will be doing yield value but based on earnings. जैसे मैंने आपको समझाया था that when a large amount of shares have to be sold or purchased, generally dividend is not the determining factor. वहां पर actually income कितनी है, कंपनी के profits कितने हैं, that is more important to determine. So therefore, when there are large number of shares to be sold, we'll be doing the earning method, that is the earning capacity basis method under yield value. This is also under yield value only, but that one was dividend, this is earnings. So basically for our expected earnings, our value per share, there are two formulas over here. So the first one, value per share, is expected rate of earnings or rate of return, you can say, return or earnings upon normal rate of return or earnings and into the paid up value per share. जैसे previous method में करते थे वैसे ही into paid up value per share. Okay? So this is our basic formula. Now what we need over here is expected rate of return, that is ERR I will call it, and NRR, which is normal rate of return. Normal rate of return as usual या तो sum में दिया होगा या risk free return दिया होगा, तो उसके basis पे you calculate your normal rate of return by adding the risk factors to it or subtracting the risk factors from it. Okay? So what basically I need to calculate is my ERR, that is expected rate of return. So this is expected earnings, that is expected future earnings. जैसे वहां पर expected future dividend लेते थे, here you will take expected future earnings upon paid up equity capital and into 100. Okay? So this is how we basically calculate our ERR. NRR, as I said, is already given. So ERR के लिए what I need? Expected future earnings. This amount will be there in the balance sheet. Paid up equity capital हम कभी calculate नहीं करते हैं. It's given to us. But for expected future earnings, we again have a small working for that. We'll start with our FMP after tax. Almost similar to what we used to do in dividend basis. Almost same formula hai. FMP after tax. You add your non-trading income. Again, that should also be after tax. And you subtract your preference dividend. यहाँ पर we will not subtract the transfer to reserve, because transfer जो हम reserves को करते हैं, that is also a part of our earnings only. Dividend में why I used to subtract the transfer? क्योंकि जो amount reserve को transfer हो गया, that I don't have with me for dividend. So dividend उतना कम हो जाता है. That's why we used to subtract. But यहाँ पर I'm calculating earnings. I'm not calculating dividend. So I don't need to subtract my transfer to the reserves. So that's the only difference between the two methods. Once you do this, you take this amount over here, you get your ERR, you use that ERR to calculate your value. Now here there is another method also, which is called capitalization method. It almost gives us the same answer, but only the approach is different. So here first we calculate our capitalized value of earnings. And the capitalized value of earnings is your expected earnings upon the NRR given into 100. If you remember, हम goodwill में capitalization करते थे FMP का, which was something very similar to this. So वैसे ही हम यहाँ पे earnings capitalize कर रहे हैं. So whatever expected earnings we have calculated over here, we use that, we divide by NRR and we multiply by 100. That gives us the capitalized earning. And once we have the capitalized value of earnings, our value per share will be that capitalized value, that is capitalized earnings I am calling it, upon the paid up equity capital into the paid up value per share. So here we are just approaching the whole formula in a slightly twisted manner. Answer दोनों में same ही आएगा because you are using the same information to do the calculation. When we do a sum, we'll confirm by doing it by both the methods. Take this down and then we'll go to a sum based on this. Let's do question number 16 based on this new method which we just discussed. Following is the balance sheet of Jewel Limited as on 31st March 2020. Equity shares दिए हैं of 10 each, 8% preference shares of 100 each, reserves and surplus is given, 8% debentures of 100 each is given, loans are given, and sundry payables. That's our liabilities, current liabilities. Asset side, we have fixed assets, current assets. We also have investments. Agar some silent hai, we will assume that the investments are non-trading. Okay, so these are going to be our non-trading income assets. And they've given share issue expense, which is nothing but our fictitious asset, which we will ignore. Then they have said details of sales, expenses and interest for the last 5 years for respective year ended are given. So for 5 years they've given us sales, they've given us expense, they've given us interest on loan. Okay, so खाली loan का interest दिया है, debentures का नहीं दिया है, but debenture interest is our expense. So we will have to consider that while calculating our profits. So यहाँ पर instead of directly giving the profits to us, they have broken it down into parts. So it's our responsibility to calculate the profits. Then they've given us rate of income tax, which is 40%, and the rate on investment is given as 10%. Normal rate of return is 12%. So NRR is given to you directly. Fixed assets are valued at 8,50,000. So this is the revalued figures. And the current assets are valued at 5,10,000. Find out the value of equity shares under net assets method, earning capacity method, which is nothing but yield value under earnings, and fair value, which is the average of the two. So first, net assets method is nothing but our intrinsic value. So we'll start with that and then we'll see what else is required. So first, I call it net assets or intrinsic value method. The formula doesn't change. The value per share is funds for equity shareholders upon number of equity shares. The funds we'll calculate in the next step, but first we'll see what is the number of equity shares. अब यहाँ पे in the balance sheet they've not directly given us the number of shares. They've said equity shares of 10 each and they've given us an amount 4,25,000. So I'll divide 4,25,000 by 10. So the number of shares is nothing but 42,500. So we'll write that down. You can make a note of how we got this amount, 42,500. When we divide it, once we get the amount, we'll divide it and get our value. So our second step over here is to find out our funds for equity shareholders. And as usual, we'll start with the assets. Assets, they've just given fixed assets, current assets, investments and share issue. Share issue lena nahi hai hame. We'll start with the fixed assets. But they've given us a revalued figure in the last adjustment. So let's see that. The fixed assets are valued at 8,50,000. The amount in the balance sheet is different, but we will ignore that. And for current assets, also they've given us a revalued figure in the adjustment, which is 5,10,000. And whenever we are valuing shares, हम investments consider करेंगे. For goodwill, we ignore the investments, but here I will take the investments. So just now I'll just take the amount of investments from the balance sheet, which is 2 lakhs. Okay, so we have fixed assets, we have current assets and we have investments already written down. There is nothing else in the asset. Fictitious asset, share issue expense, ignore karna hai. Let's take a total 8,50,000, 5,10,000 and 2 lakh. We get 15,60,000 as our total assets. I will subtract my liabilities from that. And liabilities includes everything. So liability side, we have first debentures. Debentures amount is 1,70,000. We also have some loans. So we'll take the loans and the loans are 85,000. And we have sundry payables again of 85,000. So let's subtract these three amounts from 15,60,000, 1,70,000, 85,000 and 85,000. We get 12,20,000 as our funds. Sorry, I don't need to underline that. This is our net assets. And because we have preference capital in the balance sheet, we'll have to subtract that. So our preference capital is again 85,000. So minus preference capital 85,000. And now what I get will be the funds for equity shareholders, and which is 11,35,000. Okay, we'll take that to our working over here for the value per share, and let's divide it by the number of shares, which is 42,500, and we get a value of 26.71. Okay, so that's our intrinsic value. And now we'll go to the earning capacity, which is the yield value based on earnings. First, we'll do the normal method where we use our formula for ERR and NRR, and then at the end of the sum, I'll also calculate by the capitalization method. So here first I'm taking the normal method for ERR and NRR. So value per share is ERR, that is expected rate of return, upon NRR into paid up value per share. Okay. So here I need my ERR first. NRR we already have in the sum. They've said normal rate of return is 12%. So I'm taking the NRR already. Paid up value per share is given in the balance sheet as 10 rupees each. Equity shares is 10 each. So I'll take that as 10. What is missing is ERR. So for ERR, our formula is expected earnings upon paid up equity capital into 100, right? So our paid up equity capital is there with us. Expected earnings we'll calculate in some time. Paid up equity capital is 4,25,000 and into 100. Okay. So now our next step is calculation of expected earnings. For expected earnings, as I told you, they've not given us profits. उन्होंने हमें profits के बदले they've given us sales and expenses. So first, I've made a working over here ready for that. So we'll use that to calculate our profits first. So we start with sales, and they've given us sales for each of the 5 years. So I'll take it down from the sum. First is 382,500. Second year is 467,500. Third year is 5,95,000. Then we have 3,40,000. And finally we have 6,80,000. So these are the sales given. From this, I'll subtract expenses. That is also directly given to us. The first year is 148,750. Then we have 246,500. Then we have 2,55,000. Fourth year is 131,750. And the last year is 3,40,000. Okay, so that's expenses. Then they've given us interest on loan. And it is different for each year. Maybe हमने additional loan लिया है या loan repay किया है. And that is why the interest is changing each year. So first year we have 8,500. Second year we have 17,000. Third year we have 21,250. And then we have 25,500 and again 8,500. And as I said, we should not forget the interest on debentures. Balance sheet में debentures है. So obviously you have to pay the interest on debentures each year. Information नहीं है, तो we will assume that debentures पुराने हैं. Right from this year, we are having the debentures, and therefore interest also paid every year. So interest on debentures, if you'll see in your balance sheet, your debentures are 1,70,000 and it is 8% debentures. So let's calculate that. We get 13,600. So that is the interest for each year. For all the 3 years, for all the 5 years, it will be the same. And after that, we will get our net profits before tax. Because we've started with sales, we've not considered tax anywhere, so ये profit हमें before tax मिलेंगे. So let's calculate for the first year, 382,500 minus 148,750 minus 8,500 and minus 13,600. We get 2,11,650. Next year, 467,500, 246,500, 17,000 and 13,600. 1,90,400. 5,95,000, 2,55,000, 21,250 and 13,600. We get 305,150. Fourth year, 3,40,000 minus 131,750, 25,500 and 13,600. We get 169,150. And in the last year, 6,80,000 minus 3,40,000 minus 8,500 and 13,600. We get 317,900. So these are our profits before tax. Now, what we have to consider here is that हमने sales लिया है, उसमें से हमने expenses minus किए हैं, but we've not taken interest on investment anywhere. Now, interest on investment, as I told you, is non-trading income. Goodwill के लिए ignore करेंगे, but यहाँ पे you have to consider. Again, it is the same for each of the years. So what I will do is I will consider it once I do my average. So let's come back here and now we go to our calculation for the expected earnings. So here we have our net profit before tax. So we'll take average profit before tax first. So let's take an average of all these 5 years. So 211,650 plus 190,400 plus 305,150 plus 169,150 plus 317,900. We get 1194,250 and I'll divide it by 5 because there are 5 years. So we get 2,38,850. So this is basically our FMP and that also before tax. Now what I can either do is या तो मैं इसमें इनकम ऐड कर दूं जो इंटरेस्ट ऑन इन्वेस्टमेंट है फिर टैक्स लूं या फिर मैं पहले टैक्स लूं एंड देन व्हेन आई ऐड माय इनकम आई विल अगेन हैव टू डू इट आफ्टर टैक्स. सो टू अवॉइड दैट व्हाट वी विल डू इज we will add our non-trading income on investments to this amount. Okay, it's an income, so I'm adding it to my profit. The investment given in our balance sheet is 2 lakhs. And the rate of interest given in the first adjustment is 10%. So 10% of 2 lakhs is 20,000. So we add that 2,58,850. So this is your total profit or your total income or your total earnings before tax. So this is, I can say FMP before tax. And then I subtract my tax from this, which will be at 40%, which is given in our sum. So 40% of this 258,850 into 40%, we get 1,03,500. 540. I subtract it and we get 155, 310. This is my FMP after tax. Okay, the non-trading income part I've already covered over here. So वो वापस यहाँ पर repeat नहीं होगा. But from this I have to subtract my preference dividend. So minus preference dividend. And my preference capital in the balance sheet is 85,000 and the rate is 8%. So 85,000 into 8% is our dividend, which is 6,800. And after subtracting this, we will finally get our expected earnings. These are the earnings for the shareholders. 148,510. I will take that over here. And I will divide it by our capital, 4,25,000, and into 100, our ERR is 34.94%. This is a percent. Don't write it as rupees. It's our percent. So our shareholders expect this much earning on their capital. Fine. So we'll take that over here. 34.94, and I divide it by 12, which is the normal rate of return in such kind of business, and multiply by 10, we get 29.12 as our yield value. Okay. So over here we have 26.71, which is our intrinsic value, and our yield value is 29.12. Now we go to our fair value. And fair value formula we already know. Intrinsic value plus yield value divided by 2. So intrinsic value 26.71 plus our yield value which we just got 29.12 and divide by 2. So 26.71 plus 29.12 and divide by 2, we get 27.92. It's 915. I'm rounding it off to 92. Okay. So this is how you approach the sum for earnings method. Basically earnings method यहाँ पे थोड़ा ज़्यादा complicate किया था by giving us the breakup for the 5 years. So we used that to actually calculate our net profit. We also incorporated the non-trading income over here. और यहाँ पर मैंने non-trading income before tax add कर दी, total income. Then from the total I subtracted the tax. Now what we had to check over here is whether the capitalized value gives us the same answer. So for capitalized value we had a formula, that is capitalized earnings. The sum is over here. We are just giving it a check if we get the same answer when we do capitalized earnings. So capitalized earnings is our expected earnings upon NRR into 100. So what was our expected earnings? Our expected earnings was 148,510 divided by our NRR is 12 into 100. I get a capitalized earning of 12,37,583. 0.33 we are getting. I am rounding it off to 583. and then our value per share is the capitalized earnings upon paid up capital, that is equity capital, and into paid up value per share. So our capitalized earnings, which we just got, 1237,583 divided by paid up capital from our balance sheet, 4,25,000, and into 10. We get 29.12, which we had got over here also. So this was just to check if both the methods give us the same answer. So basically in your solution also you can always give a double check whether you are getting the same answer under both the methods. दोनों method बताओगे तो it will be better. But when you are calculating your fair value, obviously use that value only once. And वहाँ पे intrinsic value and yield value add करके you will get your average. We wind up this session over here. Okay, in the next session, we'll be taking up some comprehensive sum which will cover everything, goodwill plus all the share valuation methods also. Thank you.